If any of you are interested in checking out a brand new fantasy adventure, it's young adults, it's family friendly.
It's very family friendly.
It has found family, you have mythical creatures from across the globe and cultures, and you have my fun take on history and lore of a lot of cultures around the world. So if you're into that, and if you've liked Harry Potter, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Percy Jackson, and even Indiana Jones with the treasure hunt aspect, I think you will enjoy my series, The Sky Jewel Legacy, available on Amazon, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Built on trust, fueled by kindness, powered by Provisor. Welcome to the Ben Revak Mortgage Podcast.
All right, so we have a little different flavor of podcast today. We have my friend Greg Heelan, who is another mortgage lender who I've gotten to know over the years, and just an awesome guy, father of a beautiful girl named Jane, and a great author. And Jonah and I have been reading his book trilogy that is just absolutely enthralling. And every time we read a chapter, Jonah won't go to bed until we read a second chapter. So I thought, what better opportunity to get on the show together, and we can just talk a little bit about. Jonah has a ton of questions about the book and how he came up with this awesome story. So maybe we'll end up talking about work a little bit, but I don't even know. Maybe we'll just talk about the book the whole time. Yeah,
we'll see. We're just shooting the breeze here and having a good time.
Exactly.
So
yep.
I'm ready for all the questions that you have.
One of my questions is, how did you think up to make it?
Yeah, well, it started with a dream, and I know it sounds cliche, but I had this crazy vivid dream that I've never had before or since. It's like etched in my brain. If I close my eyes, I can see it. And the dream was, there was this girl, probably young 20s, and she was on her balcony looking at the sunset. And it was just gorgeous colors, and I just got this sense that she was at peace, and she was happy with her life. Then all of a sudden someone comes out, starts talking to her. And, what my brain put in together was that, it's probably like her boyfriend or someone that she cares about. And then things took a turn for the worst, and this guy, attacks her. And she is so confused, and she stumbles back, and she's like, what is happening? And before anything else could happen, this portal opens up behind her. And then she jumps through the portal, and right when the portal closes, that's when I wake up. And I'm like, holy smokes, what was that? What did I eat before going to bed?
You ate a whole pizza.
Yeah, literally, drink just a ton of apple juice, because I know that might give you some crazy dreams. But I quickly just rolled over, and I have a notepad on my dresser, and I was like, I'm just going to jot this down so I don't forget it. And little did I know that, this would take over my life. My free time, whenever I'm not working or with family, my brain always went back to that crazy dream.
Uh-huh.
And so I just decided to write out what I felt, and I had a lot of questions, what was she doing on the balcony? Who was talking with her? Why did he attack her? And where did she go when she jumped through the portal? And there was no one else to answer those questions except for me. So I stretched my imagination, and I was like, okay, well, I think it would be cool if this was the reason why that happened in my dream. And granted, looking back, the dream probably lasted, it felt like 1 second, but there was so much information just concentrated in that one
it's almost there's no limit to the depth of it, right?
Yes. Yeah. The deeper that I dug, the more questions and more answers that I was just giving myself.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I had 10 pages front and back of me scribbling notes about what really happened in this dream and where it could have gone. And then I kind of just had a light bulb moment saying, it would be fun to just write a story about it, just see where it goes. And I've always been really huge into creative writing. That was one of my favorite classes in middle school and high school. I just dove into that. I love just being creative and seeing where my imagination could take me. And I've dabbled in just writing short stories before. I never really thought much of it that a short story, why don't you try writing a novel, much less a whole trilogy? But I think if I thought about it like way down the road about like what that would entail, how many words go into a fantasy novel, I think I would have been daunted, but I just took it one step at a time, answering one question that kept popping up, and it just kind of snowballed into this story that I'm completely obsessed about. So
But yeah, I mean, you created your own language almost.
yeah,
Maybe a couple of them.
yeah, right, yeah. If you read the book, you'll know. So,
You will know if you read the book.
yeah. So that's how I started. Started with a dream.
My other question is, are you going to make a movie?
That would be so amazing. And honestly, I think it does have the legs to be translated well to a movie, to a trilogy. Who knows, maybe even a saga, you know?
Would you watch the movie, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Yes. Well, I mean, if that happens, I'm definitely inviting you guys on set so you can see the production.
Oh, that's
So,
super cool.
yeah, red carpet treatment. You're going to be there because you were one of the first to read the story and love it. So that would be the goal. Yes.
I have a feeling that's coming in the future.
Oh, well, thank you.
Strong feeling.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but also like life's too short not to dream big. And I think that, you know, again, if there's so many books that have been adapted into movies that for me, I'm like, I think my story can kind of go toe to toe.
Oh God. Yeah.
If done well.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, like if you're familiar with Brandon Sanderson, he's probably the biggest fantasy author right now. He has so many series out. He writes a book or two a year, it seems like.
Wow.
He recently secured a one-of-a-kind, never-before-seen deal with Apple TV to adapt one of his series into a movie saga, and then another one into like a series on their streaming platform.
Wow.
And like, it's just really cool to see that happen.
That is.
And like all the buzz
The
around
doors are
it.
open, right?
Yes. And so I'm like,
Because if Apple can make a profit off of it, they've got so much cash to play with. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
100%. So like seeing that gives me faith, even though Brandon is a huge, amazing author that, I mean, he has a global presence. And for me,
Sure.
I'm just this little watermark, but still, like, even if I'm not able to get there, I just love to be able to share my story with people and see how it resonates.
How long has he been writing?
He's been writing probably since the early 2000s, I want to say.
Sure. So he's got a couple of years on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you
So,
go.
I
You're
mean,
just at a
dream
earlier
big.
point in the curve. Yeah.
Yeah, dream big. See where it goes. So yes, a movie definitely, hopefully.
Yeah, to make a movie, man, you have to have a whole bunch of people that agree with you that a movie's worth making. You can't just go make it by yourself. Well, you can, but it'd be kind of hard.
Yeah, it takes a team and it takes a fan base to propel that.
Just like how Manley was talking about the importance of having a team when you're buying a house. You need a good realtor and a good lender that work together. Same thing for making movies. Same thing for making Jonah was thinking of things he can create on the ride here. And he said the raindrops are really loud on the windshield. It's probably because the windshield's super hard. So what if there's a chemical you could put on the windshield that would be softer, that would make the raindrops not so loud?
Wow.
So yeah, maybe there is. You gotta think,
Yeah.
think of it, it can be created, right?
Yeah.
So,
Think outside the box. That's a really, really cool observation.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, here, I have a question for you, Jonah. So out of all the characters in the Sky Jewel Legacy series, who's your favorite?
Charles.
You like Charles. Very nice. And why?
Because he's a Lancaster and an Omnimancer.
Yeah, very nice. Well, Omnimancer is kind of the sorcerer in my universe that can control all of the other sorcery planes.
Nancy plays.
Yes, the Mansi planes. Yes, good. It's correcting me, the author. Yeah, that's great. So there's 5 different Mansi planes to kind of get you up to speed. You have Terramancy, Tele-Mansi, Astromancy, Chronomancy, and
Tele-Mansi.
Tele-Mancy. Yes. So you're born into one of these 5 planes, and then you learn how to control that through building your own kind of totem. Think of how Harry Potter has magic wands to control the spells. In my series, it's kind of like a rite of passage as you go through your sorcery training to create a totem that fits your personality so you can control the power. And so there's a lot of different cool totems that the sorcerers in my story uses. Like Jen, she has a bracelet, right, with different charms.
Yeah.
You have Victor. He, don't want to give too much away, but he has a staff,
Yeah.
right?
Which
And then which breaks. And then you also have rings that he puts on that come out of his belt buckle, right? The metallurgist, Heffalon,
Yeah.
he has brass knuckles, right?
Yeah.
So it's just really cool that you can kind of further diversify and just make, like, personify each of the sorcerers with, you know, the totem that they end up choosing.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I loved about the whole, like, on a macro level, is the way you wrote the series is that it's I mean, Jonah, we started it when Jonah was just turned 6.
Wow, and how old are you now?
7,
When was your birthday?
March 24th.
So yeah, like 6-7 days ago.
Wow, happy birthday, Jonah.
Yep. So, and from the very start, I mean, it's written in a way that a 6-year-old can really dive into and understand. It's not like it's written in a way that it's beyond the scope of younger minds. And I really enjoyed reading it with him. I mean, it was something for us to do, like, every night before bed for a long time. We'd read a chapter or 2 a night.
Yeah, and I remember you would keep me posted on, like, where you're at in the journey and how, like, psyched you were about, like, what's happening to all the characters. And I mean, just the amount of support that you've shown in my writing journey and the books itself, it means a lot. So,
well,
it was really cool.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it just grabbed me.
Thank you. Do you have a favorite character? If you had to pick?
If I had to pick, let me think. I think Malcolm.
Malcolm's my favorite character too.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You know, I think Malcolm, not to give a spoiler away, we can cut this out if you need to.
Yeah.
I think Malcolm's journey through the storyline is just a very human experience. And I don't want to say much more than that, but
Yeah.
you can just see,
No, that's
like,
fair.
His thought process, his decision making, his journey to becoming, you know, his journey through that story to the point where he started to trust himself at the very end and he started making his own decisions. I think that is just a very human thread.
Yeah.
That is something that a lot of people realize through their own journey in life. And I really like the way you built that character.
Thank you.
Used to throughout the story.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's why I loved writing him so much and kind of getting to experience where he goes. Just because in true life, there's no such thing as really black and white. There's gray.
It's all gray.
It's all gray, and what you make of it and what you perceive as maybe doing the right thing at the time.
Yep.
But then knowing that, like, you can still grow as a person through the experiences that you find yourself in.
Yeah, and not getting hung up on a decision. Like,
Yes.
like threat your whole life away. Like, I made the wrong decision 30 years ago, therefore I'm stuck.
Right. Yes.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I think he's the most dynamic character in the entire series. And you have some other great characters that do also grow and have their own character art. But that one's just so compelling.
Yeah.
So compelling for me. And the reason why I also love his journey so much is when I set out to start writing this book, I'm not an outliner. I didn't have the ending planned. I had, like, a rough guesstimate of where I might want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what made me continue to write the story and have that exuberance is that I'm experiencing it kind of like a reader, but, like, I'm just writing it out. And I would get so excited about certain plot twists or points that, like, I would stop and, like, I would, like, just, like, pace around the room like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is kind of what I would want to read as a reader from a different book that I didn't write.
Can I ask you a kind of a little out there question? I think a lot of people might think this is a little out there. Do you think that you, like, created this, or do you think that this just kind of came to being through you?
You know, I've actually had that thought, and I truly believe that I was meant to tell this story.
Yeah.
And it was almost, not to get, like, all spiritual, but it was kind of sent to me.
Yep.
Because I've never had this visceral, this vivid of a dream before or since.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just something that opened up my mind, and I'm like, this is so cool. And I never had any issue writing it. The words, the names of the characters, the places.
Yeah.
kind of just fell out of me as I was writing.
Flowed.
It flowed. I was in this flow state. There was really no issue. And of course, when you're writing like a book that's over 100,000 words, you're bound to have writer's block. Everybody gets writer's block.
Yep.
And I had my fair share in each of the books in my trilogy. But I think it was just that persistence where it's like, there's this wall. What can I do to punch through it or get around it?
Yep.
And those were when I would make the biggest leaps in my story or pivots or plot twists that like I didn't even see coming.
Yeah.
Like, and I tell this to a lot of people, there's just one character in book one that I really had no intention of writing into it, but she was a direct result of me breaking through my first writer's block. And she became one of my favorite characters.
Kind of makes me wonder, like, is writer's block almost like trying to get the next step from like ego or self versus letting like it flow through from the universe or
Yes.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I think you're definitely onto something there.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thing. One of the books I just read is a book called The Big Leap by a guy named Gay Hendricks.
Okay.
He's a psychologist, PhD psychologist, and one of the things he writes about how as he went through his career, he started spending more and more time every day meditating, and he actually found that he was dramatically more productive when he spent more time meditating. So
Fast.
rather than working harder, he actually worked less and less hard and spent more time just with himself. And his work became so much more efficient and effective because of it.
Wow.
And it's just, he uses the words like, he just felt like these concepts would come to him from source, which is just, you can go down that rabbit hole sometime.
Yeah.
I thought you may already have.
It's just kind of like trying to align your own like sense with the universe.
Yes.
And through the meditation, I think maybe it sounds like he was able to align that. And
Yep.
then once he then put forth effort in the real world, things also just aligned.
It does. It just lines right up.
He was lined up spiritually.
Yep.
And he made kind of what he wanted to out of his life. And
Yep.
flow state.
I think it applies in business too.
Yes, I agree.
Dramatically. Like,
I agree.
I think part of the reason I love my job so much is that there is very little structure. It's like, you might need a pre-approval at 8:00 on a Friday night. Like, it's no problem. Like, I had 2 hours Friday afternoon that I went and played basketball. So I can help you.
Yeah,
Like, it just works.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's that flexibility, being able to call your own shots, but also, yeah, like having that freedom to build what you want.
Yeah.
And to create relationships that are long lasting.
Yeah.
I think that's so fulfilling. Because you and I are not transactional people.
No.
We survive and we love to create new relationships.
Yeah. And I think the depth of relationship, like, specifically in mortgage lending.
Yeah.
I help buyers and they're a client and I take the best care of them and we get awesome reviews. In my mind, my client is the realtor because they're there helping their buyer and they need my help to get that deal closed and get an accepted offer. So I see the realtor almost as my primary client. The mortgage is almost a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
It's the service experience that the consumer gets when they're buying and the education they get that sets us apart. But the true client is the source of business for us, and that's real estate agents.
Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. And develop that level of trust where they can just call you at any other hour of the day, and they know that you will answer, and that you will be able to treat their client, the buyer, with the same amount of respect and red carpet treatment.
And like anyone, just as a human, like, I talk to people that they make, $20 an hour, they have a 500 credit score and they have no money saved up. And then I talk to people who have $3 million in retirement and are buying their third home so they can come visit their grandkids.
Yeah, spectrum.
And those appointments are back to back. Like, one's at 3, one's at 3:30.
Yeah.
So you just have to be able to be so present in every interaction in order to meet that person where they're at.
Yeah.
And
treat everybody with the same level of respect and attention.
Yep. I think that's parallel with what you were talking about with just being present with your writing. It just seems very
Yeah.
Very
And
parallel.
yeah, true. It's like for me to get the best product out there, you have to focus.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to fine tune in. And obviously, you know, life has whirlwinds all around you with, you know, different responsibilities, but being able to kind of just, focus and do something that you're passionate about, you know, it just helps every other aspect of your life. And I never thought that I would end up loving the like writing so much.
Yeah.
That I'm just going to be a perennial writer. Like,
Well, you're good at it, man.
oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you. And I'm always a student because I want to keep honing my craft and getting better, much like mortgages. You know, like every year I'm a little bit more secure, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, and I'm able to service more people more efficiently. It's just constantly improving.
You're always improving.
Yeah.
You're always.
And that's what I'm feeling with my writing style. And even people who've also read my series, they're like, I love your style, and I see that it evolves through each book, especially at the end. And they're like, it works because your plot lines become thicker and more intertwined. And so as your writing style got better, your plots got more in depth and just more intense. And so it just kind of lends to the fact that I'm able to shoulder how crazy I want to make it because I'm able, you know, my writing style has grown just through practicing it. And I've been writing every day for the last 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that could mean a sentence, that could mean 1,000 words.
So you've done something every day for 7 years.
Every day for 7 years.
Wow. That is a commitment, man.
It is. And like
consistent. I don't think I brush my teeth every day for 6 years.
yeah.
That might be it.
Right. Yeah. But it like now, like actually saying it, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
But like it was just something that I've made a part of my daily routine. And it's just second nature now. It's like, okay, I'm sitting down and I'm tapping away. What can I create today?
Right. Just let it flow.
Just let it flow. Exactly. And, you know, this trilogy has taken me 7 years to get out. I spent so much time with these characters in the world, building up the lore and the story and the magic system that this will always be probably I don't know. I don't want to clock it and say it'll be my pièce de résistance because I have other ideas in the works that I'm currently writing.
Yeah.
And I'm as passionate about.
Yeah, you don't want to put a limit on that.
But there's just something about like your first.
Yeah.
Like that you've actually completed, that people are resonating with.
Yep.
Like I'm so happy, Jonah, that you enjoyed my story and you love the magic and the characters and the adventure, that I am going to revisit this universe. I have plans for a prequel, like the origin of the Mansi clans and the first 5 Mansi clans.
Oh, there's so much potential, man.
It's so much.
It's like Star Wars.
I was about to say,
it could be the next Star Wars.
It's like Star Wars to where I've created this huge universe that I can play in.
Yes.
And I can introduce new characters and different, you know, conflicts and different realms. So
that's cool.
This is going to be a lifelong thing that I'll definitely go back and I'll do a trilogy here, a trilogy there. I'll do spin-offs because I'm definitely seeing that there are certain fan favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like Heffalon seems to be one.
Oh yeah.
People love Victor. People love Charles and Jocelyn.
You give people what they want.
Exactly. So I think it would be cool, like even Heffalon, because you know he loves ale, he loves drinking.
Oh yeah.
So it's like doing a spin-off where like it's like a cozy fantasy where he starts his own little ale house. And he's just like, he runs it, and then he can like just tell his stories about like how his life was before, you know, the beginning of the Great Battle and everything. So like, I think that'll be like a fun little, you know, just quick read.
That's cool.
As him as the main character and like dealing with just not as high stakes, you know, just just issues like around maybe starting up an ale house, like an entrepreneur.
It's truly
limitless.
Like there's no limit to it.
It is. Yeah.
Hey, dude, did you have any questions for Greg? I know you had a long list of questions.
Yes. What else you got?
One of my questions is, why do not all the characters have totems?
So, with Charles, right?
Yeah.
So, in my lore, especially if you're a really strong sorcerer, especially an omnimancer, if you're so good, you don't need totems to channel the power from your nexus, because that's what totems are. Like they help channel, you know, the power from your nexus that provides you the power of the sorcery. So it's kind of like, think of it like a lighthouse beam where the totem is where your power comes from, and you can achieve a status as a sorcerer or sorceress to where you're so good that you don't need to focus on a specific item to control or to aim your power.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Meditation. You know how when you meditate, some people, they need to use a mantra like Om or whatever.
Yes.
It's like focus on breathing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'll get to a place, and this once in a while, this isn't all the time, but sometimes I'll get to a place where it's just like, you just slip right in. You just slip right into that place, and you don't need it. It just feels so natural.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I never made the two connection, but that's perfect.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. So great question. That's a really good question. Do you have a favorite book out of the three?
My favorite one's the last one.
Destiny?
Yeah.
And why is that?
One of my favorites is because of the cover. I like the cover.
Thank you. Yeah. That is, some days I like that cover better than the first cover of Heritage. But I have to give credit where credit is due. My designer, my illustrator, she's amazing. And I like to say I'm artistic. I would have never been able to create the cover and the look that she did.
Oh,
like
what she did is incredible.
Yeah, like I remember when I finished my first manuscript of book 1, Heritage, and then I was like, okay, well, I need other things. I need a cover, I need formatting, I need all this stuff. And so I reached out. There's this great website called 99 Designs where you can go and you can put a prompt in for a project that you want. And then there's people who are interested, like artists and illustrators, and they're like, hey, I'm interested. Then here's what I am thinking of based off of your prompt or your vision. And so there were so many talented people that submitted, you know, some initial drawings.
It was like a concept proposal almost.
Exactly,
Yep.
yeah. And so there's like different tiers too. It's like, okay, like there's a big group that comes in, gives me what they're thinking. I'm like, okay, I like the feel of this person, this person, this person. The next tier, then I whittle it down, you know, by maybe like 50% until I get to the person that I want to work with.
Yep.
And my illustrator, she's Elizabeth Illustrator on socials. She comes in out of left field. Like my vision was more of like a generic fantasy cover where you have the Ring of Lancaster, you know, with the dragon in the center. And then that'll be like, that was the main focus of the cover. And then the background, you know, you have like a star-studded sky, and then you have like a silhouette of a castle overlooking a lake, like very generic.
Yes, yeah. Like every other fantasy novel.
Like every other fantasy.
Yeah.
And so like I was just comfortable in doing that, I guess. But then she comes out of left field and she does this beautiful yin and yang design of a griffin and a dragon with the contrasting colors of purple and gold.
Yep.
And I immediately fell in love. And I was like, everyone else, thank you for being with me in this journey. I'm going to pass. I'm like, you are my ride or die. Like, you are going to be with me for this entire series and probably with my other books because she's so talented.
Yeah.
And our collaboration is great. She's able to easily understand like my vision and like the feel that I want. And also, it's not generic. And after seeing that, I'm like, if you were to like set it up to every other fantasy book, I would hope to think that my book would stand out and it would be eye-catching. Like it's not too busy. Mm-hmm. It's literally just two colors. It's very minimalistic, but it just grabs your eye.
I think it grabs your eye, and I think it's unlike any other cover I've ever seen on a book.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Also, the yin and yang is very fitting.
It is
very fitting.
Yeah, because I also want to give like focus to the conflict of each book. You have like the yin and yang. You have the dragon, which symbolizes the villain of the book.
Bringers and the Dark Watcher.
Exactly.
How is that? How can you get any better?
Yes, exactly that. And so that was the main thing for the book 1 cover. For book 2 cover, it was mythical creatures that have a very important role in the story. You have the unicorn, and then you have the Russian deity, the Leshy.
Yep.
And then in book 3, you have that feathered serpent, and you have the white stag, which provides even further importance to how the story concludes. So it's kind of just like whetting your appetite. It's like what you see on the covers, those mythical creatures, you will find in each of my books, and they're not just going to be like,
they play a central role.
Yeah, a central role in the story. They're not just like in the background and that I mentioned one time on a page. Like, no, like they're in it as much as the main characters.
Yeah.
My question to you is, if you had to pick one of the Mansi planes to control, outside of Omnimancer, because that's kind of a cop-out, because Omnimancer clearly is the coolest, which Mansi plane would you want to control?
Tele-Mansi.
Yeah? How so?
Because then I could do really cool things.
There you go. You don't need anything more than that. Do you have a certain Mansi plan that kind of spoke to you?
Me?
Yeah.
I think Tele-Mansi also. Yeah, I think the ability to understand the minds of others is...
Yeah, I think it goes back to just what you're saying about meditation and just visualization and affirmations. Like, the mind can do amazing things if you
allow it to.
If you allow
get
it
out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy playing poker.
Okay.
And one of the best players in the world is actually a former professional magician.
No kidding.
Yep. His name is Antonio Esfandiari.
Okay.
And he plays ultra high stakes. He's a dramatically profitable player. He's won several tournaments, like World Poker Tour tournaments. And his perspective on the game is very people first. He tries to get inside the head of his opponents. And you have to understand the theory of poker and how the math works. It's really a mathematics game. But aside from mathematics, those people are making decisions in a very specific situation. And so you have to be able to understand the math, but you also have to overlay that with, would this person make this decision in this circumstance? Or what's the most likely decision this person would make in this circumstance? And that's essentially the Tele-Mansi plane.
It is.
It's understanding what's going on in their mind.
Yep. And what you can do to maybe insert doubt. Because in poker, I'm not as adept as you are, but in the times that I've played, it's almost seeing if you can make the other player who might have a much better hand than you doubt that they are going to win. Yeah. That they fold, and then you end up like your bluff wins.
Some of the best players are the ones that have no fear, and they will absolutely all in bluff you on the river when the nuts change on the river, and they fearlessly just all in. They put you in a really tough spot, and if you don't have a good read on how they play and why they would do that,
right,
and understanding the dynamics of it's a very, very in-depth game.
Yes.
And I enjoy it a lot. So yeah, I'd definitely Tele-Mansi.
Okay, Tele-Mansi. For me, I would probably say Terramancy.
Why?
I just love elements in general, like Mother Nature, and
walk through walls.
You walk through walls and be able to control, flames or fire and air and maybe like levitate. So I've always been a very nature conscious person, and I think Terramancy, it's just cool that you're able to like work in harmony with the earthly elements. Yeah. So that would be mine.
Nice.
How did you think of what the Mansi planes could do?
Yeah, so kind of going back to what we talked about on how like am I just a vessel for this story that like kind of just came out of the blue to me? Like did some higher power place it in my brain? It's like, hey, I'm entrusting you as a steward of this story. I don't want to sound all high and mighty about that, or like, oh, I'm still for it.
It's the most humble way to look at it.
Yeah?
100%. It takes you out of it completely.
True.
I mean, that's literally what did Jesus say?
Fair, you got me there. You're right. Yeah, because like that, like this will be something that hopefully will last for longer than I'm around.
Oh,
This story.
Yeah.
And so it's the legacy. It's the Sky Jewel legacy.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I decided, what each Mansi plane is and what kind of powers it controls, I think it was just lock and step with me being fascinated with magic from a young age, and also just being able to read so many different stories that had different magic systems.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I love that show. Top 3 for me. I also was fascinated about Harry Potter and how J.K. Rowling decided to make her magic system. And delving more into it, you have like a hard magic system, which is more explainable. It could be scientific based if you want. Then on the flip side, you have soft magic system, where it gives you that sense of wonder that you don't really know how the magic happens or how people can interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, in my story, it's definitely more of a hard magic system, because even though it is a fantastical story, it's fiction, I still want to root it in explanations that could make sense, that it could be believable to the reader, to where they can accept it. And that's when I just had a fun time figuring out, okay, what can each of these Mansi planes do? And even further so, I wanted to have a main character who could be trained in it, so that you're the reader is getting trained on all these planes with the main character, so they understand who you are.
Learning. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was something that I loved about Avatar: The Last Airbender, was you had this kid who was very adept in one of the 4 bending elements, but through his journey he had to find teachers to help him. And that was, I love that as a story beat, but also as how to like grow the characters and to endear them to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was fun trying to figure out, okay, who should be Jen's teachers, and how that there's certain unexpected ones, because you have this sorcery school in book 1 that I touch upon, and there's these grand mistresses of each plane, and they're like, okay, Jen's gonna be kind of paired up with them as she goes through it. And then, chaos ensues, and there's a pivot, and she's like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to control all my powers so I can best help the 11 realms from falling into darkness. And it's kind of just like picking herself up from her bootstraps and trying to find a way. And I've learned so much in writing, hopefully a compelling story, is that there always needs to be another obstacle in your way. Like, no one wants to read about like the easy life of someone, like, oh, okay, like it's boring, everything goes according to plan.
I don't think there is an easy life.
See, exactly. So it's like with that, I wanted to be able to create such a dynamic shift in the story where no reader could potentially fully predict what would happen or what kind of obstacles that she would face and how she would overcome it. Because, it's kind of just like building a business. It's like, how do you build a story the right way, or the way that you think would endear itself into people that come across it.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge, but I was up for it, and I love it. I love it because it was something that like it rests on my shoulders only. There's no one else that could tell me. And it's so funny. One of my best friends, when I first released my first book back in 2019, I sent him a copy. I'm like, hey, I wrote a book. He's like, you wrote a book? I'm like, yeah, I was kind of keeping it under wraps until I got it out, but it would be pretty cool for you to read it. If you don't, that's fine. And it took him like 6 to 7 months to read it. And I would check in with him sporadically throughout the months. He's like, hey, I'm getting around to it, don't worry. And he finally read it, and he reaches out to me. He's like, Greg, I have to start off by saying I'm sorry.
Sorry, it took me so
long because I was worried. I thought that you just wrote this like for fun. I mean, I did, but like he
didn't realize just what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was building up to saying like, I am your best friend. I want to be able to be honest with you. And I was worried that it would be bad,
Yeah.
and I would have to find a way to let you
100%.
down.
Yeah.
And so he's like, that's why like it took me over half a year to start it. But he's like, once I did, as I was reading chapter to chapter, I'm like, oh, this is actually like a story that's good and that is much bigger than just, just like a small little blip.
Yes.
And so he's like, I'm sorry, I actually love it. And he's like, growing up, my favorite book series was Aragon, like the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. And he's like, after reading your book, I like it better than Aragon. And that has always stuck with me. Like, that is such a humbling moment, but that in and of itself, it was like, okay, I have a story that I can tell that people like actually want to read.
Oh yeah.
And that like they enjoy it. Like, it was very humbling, but it also just motivated me to do more, to write more, because my voice matters in a form of entertainment to some people. And so that always stuck with me, and that's probably going to be one of the highest reviews that I've ever gotten. And as my books have found their ways into more readers' hands, I've seen people say, like, this is, on par with Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I never thought that my books would be seen on the same level in people's eyes, people's eyes that I've never met. Like, they're
a random
across
person
the globe.
reads it and they're like, gosh, this is as good as fill in the blank.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, it's one thing coming from your mother who's like, oh, Greg, it's great, it's 5 stars. I'm like, yeah, like, you can say that. You're my mom. Like,
Yeah.
of course. Like, anything I do, you'll think it's great. I want to be able to, have a complete stranger take a chance on my book.
Yeah.
Well, first off, that's amazing in and of itself. But not only that, but to enjoy it so much to where they're like, it's one of my favorite reads, and this is going to be a continued reread for me in the years to come. Like, that just fills my heart with so much joy, and it keeps propelling me to tell stories.
Yeah. Stories are powerful, man.
They are. And everybody has a story, and everybody's story deserves to be heard. I think a lot of people, through like growing a community of readers, and also fellow indie authors online, there have been a couple of people who are like, oh yeah, like, I wish I could be as talented as you to finish a series or a story, because I have a story, but like, I just don't know what I need to do, or like, I always get bored about it. And honestly, like, writing a book is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
And everybody has a story to tell. They just need to be patient enough to get it out on paper and not give up. Like, that's why I, mentioned earlier that I've been writing for 7 years, just daily. It could be a little bit, it could be a lot per day, but it's just that constant build up and that constant, never giving up mentality.
And being present
And
in the journey of bringing it to life versus looking for some sort of gratification. Like, it's not even delayed gratification. It's like gratification's way down the road. It's not just delayed. It's like, you don't even know if you're going to get it.
It's a pinprick in the distance.
It is, yeah. If that, like, you might not even see it at the time when you start.
And for me, I love reading in and of itself. It's not the end goal. Like, the journey of completing a book for me is a lot more special than having the written book in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because then I can give it to people to read, and then they can give me their thoughts and their feedback so I can grow as a writer. Yeah. But the journey and being able to say, like, I've created this, like, just from my brain through hard work and like consistent dedication, like that, it's hard to top that in terms of pride, outside of, being able to create life and have a daughter. Yes. And be a father. Like that is that's elevated me even more now as a writer, because now I can maybe relate my experiences of being a first-time father into my story, so it becomes more real in that regard, for a character. So, it's life-altering, and I would like to say that when I look at my roles in life in terms of priority. Like, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm an author, and then I'm a mortgage lender.
Yeah.
And not to say that I shirk my duty
No, you
as
don't
a
do so
mortgage
much work
officer.
at all. I know
Well, thank you.
give people a great experience.
Thank you. Yes, but like, that's just something, writing is something I'm more passionate about. But with the life that we lead as lenders, we are very flexible. And when I'm on. Like you said, it's being able to focus and give the best experience to the people that are on the other line of the phone or looking to close on their home, because that's such an amazing chapter to start in people's lives, that you're able to help them with. Like, they would not be able to get the home if you aren't at your best, or they potentially didn't even talk to you. Like, there's so many cool things that come from that you're affecting people in a positive way. And then for writing, I feel the same way too, that like I'm affecting them in a way that's resonating with them, that they enjoy the story, and if they're able to escape from their lives or their troubles, even just for a little bit while they read my book, I mean, that's priceless.
I was out for dinner last night with Brenna, and there was a sign on the wall that had a quote on it. It said, so I'll paraphrase it. It's basically said that what you leave behind isn't what's etched in stone, but what's woven into the lives of others.
I love that saying.
And that is exactly what that book is. You're weaving that into the lives of, I mean, at this point, tens of thousands of others.
Yeah. I think right now, lifetime to date, I've probably sold over 6,000 copies, and that's physical books, and not to mention the ebooks that have been sold or reading.
And out of those physical books, I mean, like, we have one copy of each, and at least 3 people have read it. Brenda's reading it right now. Brenda started it with Jonah. She's reading it all because she saw us read it and was like, I want to read this now. So
that means a lot. And yeah, like,
very cool.
Also, you would keep me updated. She's like, oh yeah, like Brenda has cried at a few scenes in the book.
Like, tell Greg he made me cry 3 times.
Like, and again, like I'm still working as a storyteller and honing my craft. But I think great storytelling is if you're able to elicit emotions out of people.
Yeah.
In like the way that you want to. Like, if a scene's heart-wrenching, I want you to cry. I want you to feel sorry. And if there's other scenes, like, I want you to feel elation with these characters, or I want you to feel tense and unsure in certain chapters.
Well, like, when a chapter ends and then it skips to a different part in the story, and it's like, what's gonna happen?
Yes, and I didn't realize that I did that kind of subconsciously, but as I was writing, I would end a chapter as the tension or action was building.
Absolute cliffhangers.
Yes, so it's mini cliffhangers in the trilogy, and I think that allows, or hopefully helps, people to think of my books as page turners, because you're invested in this one chapter that's like coming to a crescendo. Then all of a sudden it starts a new chapter with a different character. But I want to get back to this, and so like it makes you read the next chapter to get to what just ended. But through the new chapter, you get entrenched in what's happening there. So like it's just a constant,
it keeps you hooked.
Propulsion.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was recently listening to an episode, a podcast called How I Write, and he was interviewing Lee Child, who wrote all the Jack Reacher novels. And he's like, there's a rhythm that I have in my storytelling, and it's always leaning forward. Like you're leaning in, or you're almost stumbling, and you have that. Yeah, exactly. You have that momentum. You have that gravity that's pushing you forward, and that's what I want to do with my writing style, so that you just constantly have to keep turning the page.
Yeah.
And by no means am I an expert at it, but I feel like I've gotten better at it with each book that I've published.
I love it. Well, I think we're about out of time. Did you have any other questions for Greg before we wrap up?
I have one more question.
Okay.
What's Heflon's totem?
Heflon's totem is a brass knuckle. Yeah, so it has like little holes that you can slide your finger in, and then when you make a fist, like you hold it, and then there's like brass knuckles that are up here, and it's usually for like brawlers or people that fight.
It's a weapon. So
yeah,
if you
it's a
touch somebody, instead of your knuckles hitting them, metal hits them instead, and it hurts a lot.
It hurts a lot more.
Is it like metal spines?
Kind of. Yeah, like rounded spines that kind of look like knuckles, like this, but it's like elevated and it's made out of metal.
Mm.
Or brass in that case. I guess which is metal. So.
Yeah.
Then what's Dragonex's totem?
Dragonex's totem is a ring.
What ring?
It's like a dragon inspired ring. Where like when his nexus feeds the energy, it glows red, and there's like like a dragon snout on it, and so you can see like the eyes turn bright red when his animancy is ready to be released.
He's an animancer?
I believe so. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, if any of you are interested in checking out a brand new fantasy adventure, it's young adult, it's family friendly.
It's very family friendly.
It has found family. You have mythical creatures from across the globe and cultures, and you have my fun take on history and lore of a lot of cultures around the world. So if you're into that, and if you've liked Harry Potter, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Percy Jackson, and even Indiana Jones with the treasure hunt aspect, I think you will enjoy my series, The Sky Jewel Legacy, available on Amazon, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Can't go wrong with it.
Thank you.
Coming up.
Thank you very much. May your Nexus protect you, always.